Hey there, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you won't miss any of our thought-provoking content. Today, we're diving headfirst into the cosmic whirlpool of Terence McKenna's mind, a realm where reality bends and boundaries blur. Let's get to know him a little better. Born in a small town called Paonia in Colorado in 1946, McKenna was not your average kid. With a cocktail of Welsh and Irish blood running through his veins, thanks to his folks, he was destined for wild adventures. Oh, and his brother, Dennis, he was about to become his partner in crime in some of the most mind-blowing journeys ever. As a kid, McKenna was all about the outdoors. He was obsessed, fossils in his pockets, head buried in heavy-duty books on everything from rocks to the mysteries of the mind. At just 14, he stumbled upon a book by Carl Jung, Psychology and Alchemy, and it was like he'd found a secret map to a treasure. Fast forward 2 years, and McKenna's in Los Altos, California, crashing with some family buddies. After a brief stint there, he wrapped up high school in Lancaster. Around this time, some cool reads from Aldous Huxley and The Village Voice introduced him to the trippy world of psychedelics. He also came across this article in Life magazine about these magic mushrooms. Now, most would just read and move on, but McKenna, he had to try them. Berkeley, California, 1965. College life. While most were buried in textbooks, McKenna was diving deep into art, history, and the mystical world of shamans. But it wasn't all study. He was in the thick of the counterculture scene, making posters and chanting at anti-war rallies. It was here he bumped into Kathleen Harrison. Kathleen was just as wild about plants and the mysteries of the universe as he was. By 1975, they were hitched and soon welcomed 2 kids, Finn and Clea, into their tribe. Now here comes the crazy part. In 1969, McKenna and Dennis packed their bags for the Amazon in Colombia. Why? They were on the hunt for this legendary plant called uku hay that was said to whisk you away to other worlds. They never found it, but they did discover something else, ayahuasca. This wasn't just any plant. It was packed with DMT, the ultimate ticket to a psychedelic roller coaster. They also bumped into these awesome mushrooms, not the ones you toss into your salad, but the magic kind. They got a bunch of them, grew more when they got back and shared them with friends. During their jungle escapades, they went through some downright strange stuff. They poured all those stories into a book they called The Invisible Landscape. After his Amazon adventure in the 60s, this guy didn't stop. Nope. The 70s and 80s saw him globe-trotting to places where people used funky plants to heal, predict the future, or just have a good old time with rituals. Now, McKenna had this super cool idea. He thought that these trippy mushrooms weren't just for fun. He believed they actually kick-started everything we know: language, art, even religions. Imagine that. Taking a magic mushroom and suddenly you're painting the next Mona Lisa or penning the next Shakespearean play. He also felt these psychedelics were like Mother Nature's peace offerings, a way for us humans to stop bickering and start hugging trees. Now, among all the plants, there was one that McKenna was super jazzed about: psilocybin mushrooms. He reckoned these weren't just any mushrooms. Nope, they were like humanity's ancient mentors. He felt these mushrooms had been helping humans level up for ages, all the way back to our earliest days in Africa. These shrooms didn't just sit quietly either. They spoke to humans in their trippy psychedelic language. McKenna called this chat with the mushrooms the voice of the Logos. But hey, McKenna wasn't a one-plant kind of guy. He was curious about all of them, be it ayahuasca, DMT, or even cannabis. To him, each plant was like a character from a fairy tale, each with its own personality and purpose. And then there's the machine elves. These were mind-bending entities McKenna bumped into during his DMT adventures. He described them as shape-shifting beings that chatted in a super-advanced language. What's crazier, he thought these elves could weave and mold reality. Yeah, let that sink in. Of course, he wasn't just talking, he was writing. His books had titles like Food of the Gods and True Hallucinations. McKenna was like the podcast king before podcasts were even a thing. Media loved him, and some even called him the 90s version of Timothy Leary, or the big brain behind rave culture. His books had all sorts of ideas you wouldn't expect to find. For instance, his The Archaic Revival is like a treasure chest. Open it up and inside, you'll find chunks of wisdom on shamanism, alchemy, and of course psychedelics. This ain't just about tripping and seeing colors. Terence believed the old-school way of using these plants could be our ticket to a better future. Plus, he dives deep into his own crazy theories, machine elves, and the loopy world of DMT. And remember we mentioned The Invisible Landscape. In that book, the McKenna brothers tried to make sense of the Amazon trip. That's where McKenna had another trippy idea. This one was about time. Forget about the clock ticking away or days changing in cycles. McKenna thought of time like this crazy wave, getting more and more exciting as it went on. They introduced their concept of novelty theory, which is a mathematical model of time based on fractal patterns derived from the I Ching. They predicted that time would reach a singularity point on December 21st, 2012, which would mark a major shift in human consciousness. Aliens, big tech stuff, spiritual glow-up. He wasn't sure, but it definitely got people talking. For the DIY folks, the Psilocybin Magic Mushroom Grower's Guide is like the IKEA manual for growing your own stash of psychedelic shrooms. No fancy jargon, just straight-up, easy steps to get you from zero to shroom hero. Of course, when you have ideas as wild as McKenna's, not everyone's gonna high-five you. Some people were totally on board, loving his fresh take on stuff. Others, not so much. They thought he was making it all up or was just, having too much fun with those mushrooms. But McKenna was chill. He wanted everyone to think, question things, and find their own truths. Speaking of asking questions, ever heard of the technological singularity? It's that mind-blowing moment we might hit when computers outthink humans. Terence had a whole lot to say about it. First off, let's talk about today's tech fever. Everywhere you look, it's gadgets this, apps that. Everyone's obsessed, hoping tech is our golden ticket to the future. But Terence, he wasn't entirely sold. He side-eyed our tech obsession, thinking maybe we're losing our connection to what makes us, us. Trees, rivers, that feeling when you're dancing under the stars. He believed these moments mattered more than the latest iPhone drop. While Terence had his critiques, he wasn't anti-tech. Nope. He was geeky in his own way. He daydreamed about virtual worlds, chatting with super-smart AIs, and even tiny robots that could change our DNA. Imagine merging the trippy experiences of psychedelics with the power of VR. Or what if there was a device that made you feel like you're on a magic carpet ride without popping anything? Terence's mind went there. He painted a future where we wouldn't just be stuck to our screens, but could jump into them. But Terence wasn't just some guy with ideas. He was a cosmic explorer. How? Psychedelics. Yep, he used these magic keys to unlock doors to places most of us can only dream of. We're talking floating through higher dimensions, high-fiving alien beings, and peeking into the universe's deepest secrets. And these trips weren't just random. They shaped his thoughts about where we're all headed. Now, when you read a book or watch a movie and think, wow, this changes everything. Terence had a whole bunch of these moments, from ancient Chinese texts like the I Ching to the mysterious Maya calendar, from the twisty tales of Philip K. Dick to the wisdom hidden in age-old religious gospels. He was like a sponge, soaking it all up. And let's not forget those strange UFO tales. He loved diving deep into those too. Life, though, had its plans. In 1999, Terence, a renowned lecturer, psychonaut and writer, who had dedicated decades to studying shamanism and psychic alteration, got hit with some rough news. A brain tumor. He battled it, tried to outsmart it, but in 2000, at age 53, he took his final bow in California. But he left behind a little piece of paradise in Hawaii, a magical garden called Botanical Dimensions that he dreamt up with his wife Kathleen. What are your thoughts about Terence McKenna? Let us know in the comments. See you in the next one.